Hello, everybody. Welcome to Weekly Trash, the safe place to cleanse your mind, body, and soul of all that trash you consume this week so you can consume some more tomorrow. I'm your host, Josie Van Dyke, and it is Trash Day. Welcome to today's solo episode where we're going to take out my personal trash, some pop culture TikTok trash, which is basically Taylor Swift trash, and Trashers trash, which is your trash. How are you guys? It's been 2 weeks since I've last spoken to you guys. My brain's dead. Okay. I have jet lag. Apparently that's a real thing. I thought it was a myth because I have never traveled around the world before. It is real. People aren't just saying that to sound cool. Like, oh, I have jet lag. Like, no, it's real. My brain is mush. So if I stumble across my words more than usual, it is because I am so tired. I woke up at 3 a.m. this morning, couldn't go back to sleep. I was scrolling TikTok. I was looking at all the conspiracy theories about Taylor Swift and what's going to go on with her album. And if we think that everything that she's doing is an act because this is the life of a showgirl, all the things. If you know, you know. We will be discussing life of a showgirl. So if you are a Taylor Swift hater, you might just want to skip over pop culture because I will be addressing the entire album because I love it. I love it. And if you don't like it, you're wrong. Sorry. But we need to take out personal trash because, like I said, I haven't talked to you guys in 2 weeks. Lots has happened. Sorry to interrupt, but today's episode is brought to you by Poppy and Pout. Poppy and Pout knows lip care, okay? Every product is 100% natural, from their best-selling lip balms to their new overnight lip mask. And did you know that Poppy and Pout's lip scrub is a 2-time Allure Best of Beauty Award winner? Everything is made with 100% all-natural ingredients. No parabens, just clean, sustainable, eco-friendly formulas that actually work. Whether you want everyday moisture, a hint of color, or that deep overnight hydration, they've got everything your lips could possibly need. And if you're looking for a fun gift, it's Poppy and Pout. With so many nostalgic flavors, their lip balms are just like the grown-up version of those lip smackers you used to collect, except with all natural ingredients and eco-friendly packaging, which we love. Perfect for birthdays, holidays, or just a little pick-me-up because it's truly for everybody. And I have a code just for listeners. You can use code 20JOSIE at checkout at poppyandpout.com and get 20% off your order. Let me know what you get and let me know how much you love it because I know I love Poppy and Pout. They're my newest favorite lip product, and I know they'll be yours too. Thank you, Poppy and Pout, for sponsoring today's episode. Today's episode is brought to you by Minky Couture. You will never want to buy another blanket ever again. I would know because I've had lots of blankets, and ever since I got that one viral blanket that you see online, the Minky Couture blanket, I am confidently telling you that it is the best blanket ever. Everyone needs to have something as cozy as Minky in their home. There's nothing quite like coming home after a long day and cuddling up with your Minky Couture blanket. They are soft and luxurious, and it feels like a cuddling cloud. Okay, just cuddle it up. There's so many different types of blankets out there, but seriously, nothing compares to Minky Couture. They have the largest selection of colors, sizes, and patterns on the market. They are the creator of the original Hugs blanket, a double-sided, stretchy, and plush style that literally hugs you back. I've never had a blanket that even comes close to my Minky Hugs. Minky Couture is a female-owned business started by a mother who wanted to provide luxurious comfort to her daughter through a tough time. Since 2009, Minky Couture has been able to bring comfort and luxury to homes all over the world. Passionate about giving back to the community, they donate over 30,000 mini Minkies to NICUs across the country every year. And lucky for you guys, I have partnered with Minky Couture to bring this comfort and luxury into your home by offering listeners an exclusive 50% off discount. That's right, 50% off. Use your code weeklytrash at checkout for 50% off your next purchase on all full priced items. You can use it in store or online at softminkyblankets.com. Again, use code weeklytrash for 50% off your next purchase and treat yourself to the best blanket ever. Follow them on Instagram for additional deals and updates at Minky Couture. Thanks, Minky, for sponsoring today's episode. We had the party. Okay, Sunset Baddies season 4 celebration. Went to Europe, okay, which is why I have jet lag. And now I'm home. It's time to party. It's time to take out trash. So first things first, the party. Wow, it was so freaking fun. Let me adjust my mic here because I need to make sure you guys can hear me real good. Also, congested. Shocked? No, because I feel like I'm always congested. I need see, brain fried. I need my deviated septum fixed ASAP because when I'm congested, I sound a million times worse than just like the average person. But the thought of going under for a surgery that isn't going to like, I don't know, make me look hotter doesn't really sound that fun. Like if I were to get a nose job, a deviated septum fix, I would also want them to make my nose more perfect looking. But then I kind of like my nose. Like there are just like a few things that I want to change. And I'm nervous that if I get my nose done, it's going to look completely different. They're going to screw it up and then I'm going to have an ugly nose. So I'm like, okay, I don't really want to touch my nose, but I also don't want to get a surgery and like go through the recovery just to look the exact same. Is that weird? But I do need to get it fixed. So if you have a surgeon that specializes in deviated septums, send them my way. But yeah, I'm a little congested. I was about to say constipated, which I am too. Okay, let's go back. Okay, party. It was so fun. I was blown away by everyone's outfits. You guys understood the assignment. You looked so good. Whenever you have a theme, it's kind of like, okay, are people going to actually do it? Do they think it's lame? Are they going to show up? Oh, you guys showed up. The colors in that room were perfect. Absolutely perfect. The whole day went as planned. There was no real issues or hiccups. Luckily, I had my manager, Sam, and her team at Sauce Media, and then my sister-in-law, Kesley, which a lot of you met her at the party. Shout out Kesley. They were in charge of kind of doing all of the setup and making sure things were running smoothly. So I didn't really have to stress that much about that stuff, which was so nice because throwing a party is super stressful with all like the vendors and making sure everything is going as planned. And every year, I've really done it by myself. So it was very nice to have people doing that for me. My dress was giving titties. My tits were out. Okay. And I'm not going to apologize for that because I paid good money. I want to show these babies off and they don't really feel like a private part. They feel like a toy or an accessory because I haven't really come to terms that this is my body yet. It's still just, it's for the people. Okay, it's for the girls. It's not mine. So I was like, yeah, let's show them off. I did not know what I was going to wear. I ordered those dresses. I made the video on TikTok and Instagram. Didn't get the reactions I was hoping for. Everyone was like, yeah, I guess number 1 is okay. I guess that's good enough. No. I want to look phenomenal. I want to look the best at the party. It's my party. I want to look the best. So I was like, okay, hopefully in New York, I will find something. Found nothing. Found absolutely nothing. I guess orange isn't really a top color of choice for people's dresses. So I couldn't find anything. And I really wanted to wear orange because I feel like that's my color. I feel like I look really good in orange. So I was really hoping I'd find an orange dress. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So then I get home and I have my options, which are limited, that I'm not obsessed with. So I get on Revolve because that's where you go when you need next day shipping. Every dress is on back order, every single one. And my hopes were down. I was like, crap, I'm not going to look the best. I'm going to look average at my own party. And I keep scrolling and I see this orange dress with the titties out, except on the model, because the model is like 6 feet tall and skin and bones. She doesn't have any tits to her. It looks like way more modest than it actually was on me. On me, it was like, whoa, porn star. But I saw it on her and I was like, oh, wait. This could actually be something. And it was the only dress that was going to get to me in time. So it kind of felt like fate, like it was supposed to happen. So I ordered it, fingers crossed, praying that it fit, because that's the other thing. I don't really know what my size is anymore. It like changes every day. Like right now I am so bloated that I look pregnant. Like, and you might be like, Josie, there's no way. No, I do. Like I showed Pedro and he was like, how did that happen? Because it's like on the upper part of my body because the bottom is like so sewn up and tight that it's like a hump. I have like my boobs are a big hump and then I have a big hump where like my under boob is and then it goes flat. It's like the weirdest thing. It looks like I'm carrying a baby in my rib cage. But because of that, like I don't fit into any of the pants that I bought when I was my skinniest 3 weeks ago. Anyways, my body is forever changing at this moment, which is why I don't think these are private parts and I just think they're toys because I'm like, this body is not mine. We're still trying to connect the brain with the body because it's just not intertwined. So I ordered a size that I was like, I really have no idea if this is going to fit like a glove. Like, when you put on a dress and it just hugs every curve of your body perfectly and you're like, this dress was made for me? That's basically how I felt. So it was a no-brainer that I was going to wear the dress, and it was a showstopper. Okay. Everyone was looking at my tits. Pedro said that every time he looked over at the line of people that like were in line and we were taking pictures, everyone was touching my tits. If you touched my tit, please comment a orange on my photo dump, because I just want to know like how many people touched my tits that night. Like, I was getting groped left and right. I allowed it though. I was letting people do it because, again, these are for the girls. I got these for you guys. They're like stress balls. When you feel anxious, when you feel stressed, just come on over and squeeze my tit. That's basically the gift I was giving to everybody at the party. And now that I'm thinking back on it, I'm like, that was maybe a little too much. Like, maybe I should have had people keep their hands to themselves, but I wanted to perform. I wanted to bring joy. And so many of you wanted to grab my tits. So yeah, comment in orange if you touched my tits at my party. But a lot of you guys had really good tits too. Like, the tits were off the charts at the party. The outfits, the tits, the vibes. It was great. It's funny because the party is definitely more for you guys than it is for me. I stand in the same spot the entire time and I take pictures with everybody, but I love it. Like, I love meeting everybody. I love getting to actually put a face to the listeners. And I'm so glad we sold tickets this year because I feel like everyone there was a trasher. Like, they were there for the right reasons. Okay. And there wasn't any like people showing up just to get free stuff. Like, it really was a group of women who want to make friends. Like, there were so many people that came by themselves and left with like new besties, which is my favorite thing in the whole wide world. And that's why I love the Trasher community, because I feel like it's so easy to make friends. And in the line, because people were cray cray and they showed up way earlier. I said noon, and some of you guys showed up at freaking 9:30 in the morning for these goodie bags, which they were really good. So I get it. But so many people were like, I made so many friends in that line waiting outside. There was one girl, if it was you, please DM me because I'm obsessed with you. She was laying out. She was literally tanning while she was waiting in line for the goodie bag because you guys were out there for like 9 hours. Crazy. Which it's funny because somebody had DM'd me, which they meant to DM their friend. You know when people like will swipe up on a story and they like send it to their friend and then their friend responds to it, but they accidentally respond to the story and not their friend, and they're like talking shit and it's like really embarrassing for them. Yeah, that happened because somebody responded to my Instagram story of me being like, hey guys, don't show up before noon. And somebody was like, does she really think people are going to show up that early for her goodie bags? Bitch, please. I had people there at 8:30, 9 a.m. So yeah, people show up that early for the goodie bags. And it has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with the goodie bags. Like, my sister-in-law, Kesley, she was like, is that not so crazy that people are waiting in line to like hang out with you? And I'm like, they're not. They're waiting in line for a Miki Couture blanket. They're waiting in line for Poppy and Pout chapstick. They're waiting in line for a free Pilates class from Mountain West. They're not waiting in line for me. So yeah, it's not that crazy because you're getting free stuff, but it is really cool that people show up and that people want to even come to the party in the first place. And seeing everybody dressed up really was like the highlight for me because, like I said, when you do themes, you're like, are people actually going to dress up with the theme? And you guys did. So grateful. I also need to look at my phone a lot because I have so many notes because it's been so long since we've last spoken. But yeah, so grateful. The party was great. Merch did so well, which actually I have like some random few sizes left over from the party that nobody ordered in pre-order. So if you want to go online, the link's in my bio and you can see if possibly I have your size and it'll get shipped this week. So go check that out. But yeah, the party was great. Highlight of the year as always. I will say though, I'm getting a little burnt out. Like, I was like, can I do this again next year? Because next year I want even a bigger venue. And like, I want it to be even bigger and better. And I just like, don't know how I'm going to top it every year because this year was so good. Everything about it was so good. The decor, the food, the people, like it was perfect. So if you came, I love you. If you didn't get tickets, hopefully next year I do it again and we get a bigger venue. I say I hope I do it again, but I know I'm going to do it again. I'm most likely going to do it again. After that party, I was like, oh, I'm so tired. Like, it just takes so much mental energy And then the physical side of like sitting there, and I want to give every single person that comes to the party like time and attention. Like every single person that came in line, I was like, I want to know your name. I want to know where you're from. Like I want to give you like a conversation because your support is truly what's given me what I have. And I just love all of you so much. So I was like, I want to give people quality time. And my manager came out to me. She's like, Josie, you have 30 minutes and you have like this whole line of people. Like, you got to stop talking so much. And I'm like, I can't. Like, I just want to talk to everybody. But because I do that, by the end of it, I'm like, holy shit, I don't want to talk to another person for the rest of my life because I'm like so drained. Like my, social battery, which is usually like all the way up here. Like I thrive off of social gatherings. It's like in the toilet. It is like, put me in a bedroom in the dark. Nobody talk to me for 24 hours. But then after the 24 hours, I'm like, okay, let's do it again. So I'm totally going to do it again. But I need a bigger venue. And that's terrifying because I feel like there were so many people there this year. And I didn't even get to talk to everybody. So I don't even know how I'm going to do that next year. But we're going to figure it out. And you guys can get tickets. So we're going to do it again. So grateful. I love every single one of you that came to the party. After the party, though, it was time to go to Europe. And I have never left my kids for this long of a time. I was feeling very guilty because I was like, I was just in New York and then I threw the party. So I didn't really get to be with them that whole day. And then on Sunday, I left for a week. And I've never left them longer than like 4 days, maybe. So I was feeling a lot of mom guilt, and I had a Q&A when I was on the flight, and someone asked like, how do you handle mom guilt? And I really had to think about it. And I was like, honestly, I just have to picture my daughter when she has kids and she wants to go on a vacation and she leaves them with me. And like the advice I would give her, which is you deserve to go be a person out of being just a mom, and you deserve to have new experiences, whether it's with your husband or just you. Like, if you have the ability to go do those things, you should do them. You should take those opportunities, especially because they're so young. They're not really going to remember a week out of their life. So that's my advice to you. If you're going on trips and you feel guilty, like what would you tell your kids? Like when they're older and they, are just wanting to go and have a vacation and they feel guilty about it, like what would you tell them? You would say, go for it. Go have fun. Let me watch the kids, So I was excited, but I felt a little guilty, but it ended up being really good to just have time apart. But it's been a long trip when halfway through you're like almost crying because you miss your kids so much. Like I usually miss my kids, obviously. Like I said, I feel guilty. But then once I go on the trip, I'm good at like not forgetting them, obviously, but I'm like, no, I'm going to enjoy my trip. I'm going to have fun. And then I'm going to come home and I'm going to be a better mom. But on this trip, maybe it's because it was a cruise, and I've officially decided I will never go on a cruise ever again. I'm not a cruise person. But I was like, get me home. Get me home to my babies. I miss my children. And that's how you know it was too long of a trip, when you're at that point where you're like, no, I want to go home now. So I feel like 5 days would have been perfect. 7 days was just a little too long. But let's go to the very beginning of the trip because lots happened. We flew to Barcelona and we flew overnight. So we got in at like 7 a.m. Barcelona time. Now, fun fact, I posted on Instagram and I was like, are there any trashers in Barcelona who want to be our tour guide? Because we couldn't get on the ship until like 4:35. And I was like, what are we supposed to do with our luggage and all of our stuff for that long? Like, that sounds awful. But I'm like, if we know somebody there who can like give us a tour or something, then it would be really fun. I did her Instagram so I can give you guys the exact name. But basically I went on Instagram. I was like, are there any trashers in Barcelona? And someone had messaged me and they were like, my cousin is in Barcelona. And I was like, oh my gosh, does she want to be our tour guide? And she was like, yeah, let me ask her. Her name is Sam. She just started an Instagram page called Do Good Tours Barcelona, which we all know at the end of my podcast, I say see good, do good. So it's kind of like full circle moment, but Do Good Tours Barcelona is her account. And she picked us up and she showed us the whole city, me and Pedro, and she was phenomenal. First, we dropped off our luggage at her family's place so that way it stayed safe and like didn't get taken out of the car. And then we just kind of walked and roamed Barcelona. we saw the Sagrada Familia Cathedral. I'm probably saying that totally wrong, but that was the coolest thing I've ever seen. It's taken them, I think she said 150 years or something. So cool. Then she took us to like a Gothic cathedral where we like went on top of the roof, but it wouldn't be a true Josie story if I didn't have an attack, a stomach attack. If you're new here, it's where I literally am screaming, crying, throwing up, shitting myself because my stomach hurts so bad. And it's not, we don't know what it is. Okay. I've had it my whole life. It might be anxiety. It might be Crohn's. It might be celiac. Who knows? But it happens once a month. And it's usually when I'm on vacation. Shocker. Don't know why. But we were touring the cathedral and we had gone to this restaurant called Nona's. I think it was just called Nona's. Super good. But as I was eating, I was like, I cannot have another bite of this. I was like, I feel so full and like sick to my stomach. Because on the flight there, because it was such a long flight, they like fed you breakfast and dinner. So I had eaten that food and I was just like, I don't feel so good. So I had like a couple bites of like the avocado toast. And then I was just like, yeah, I can't eat the rest of this. So we just start walking. I'm like, I'm just going to walk it off. It's probably because I'm tired because I haven't slept in 12 hours. And I just have a lot of food in my stomach. So I'll just walk it off. So we go to this Gothic cathedral and we have to go to the top. And I look at Pedro and I'm like, babe, I'm having an attack. Like, I am so close to throwing up. And I wanted to be so brave because I didn't want the tour guide. I didn't want Sam to know that I was dying. So I was like, okay, deep breaths. I try to like put gum in my mouth and I couldn't even chew gum because I thought I was going to throw up. So I like take the gum. I give it to Pedro. I'm like, chew this gum because like there's no garbage can because we're just like in the middle of a cathedral. And I'm just deep breaths, just like I can't, I'm not going to throw up. I just go pale. I'm so pale. I'm feeling so queasy. We're on the rooftop of this cathedral. And I'm like, I'm going to throw up on this roof and they're going to be pissed at me because what do you even do? How do you even clean up throw up on a roof of like a 500,000-year-old cathedral? Like, so I'm trying to be so brave. And I'm like, Pedro, if I was home right now, I would be curled up in a ball on the bathroom floor crying. But I am being so brave and trying not to die. So I told her, I told Sam, I was like, yeah, my stomach just like kind of hurts. And I'm like sitting, I'm like acting like I'm grabbing something out of my purse, but really I'm going to pass out. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, I need to get to a bathroom, like ASAP. And it's kind of like New York where bathrooms are limited. It's not just like everywhere has a bathroom. So I'm like stressed. And Sam was like, I think there's a bathroom in the parking garage where we parked. So I'm just clenching. I'm breathing. I'm like, I don't know what end it's going to come out of, but I am unwell. And Pedro's holding my hand. He's like, you're being so brave. That's like our thing that we say is like, we're being so brave whenever we have to do things that we don't necessarily want to do. Cause that's what we tell our kids. Like, oh, you're being so brave. So I was like, I'm being so brave. And I get to the bathroom and obviously like shit went down. Okay. I died in this random bathroom in a parking garage, which thank heavens it was clean. Because my expectations for a parking garage bathroom are pretty low. And it was nicer than like the average American gas station bathroom. So shout out to Sam for getting me a good bathroom and being so patient because I was dying. But we finally get aboard the ship around 5:00. Now, before I talk about the ship, I just want to say, I'm not a cruise person. And I knew that going on the cruise. So yeah, I might talk a little shit about the cruise because I didn't like it. And it's a vacation I paid for. So I'm going to talk about it. And I also want to let you guys know because I don't want to be like, oh my gosh, it was so great. And then you guys go on a cruise and you're like, wait, that wasn't so great. And I'm like, sorry, I lied to you because I didn't want to sound like a complaining bitch. But this is my podcast. I'm going to sound like a complaining bitch. So let's just get into that part really quick before we talk about the places we went on the cruise because I had a really good time at all the ports and like all the places. It was on the actual cruise that I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this again. So we get on the cruise. We get to our room and I wasn't expecting much. Okay. Last time I went on a cruise, I was like 12. So I don't really remember a lot of it, but I don't remember the rooms being super nice. I know it's kind of like a small, tiny room. The bathrooms are really tiny. Like I knew that. I knew that. And I also knew that like our cruise isn't the nicest cruise line there is. It was Royal Caribbean, which I know Carnival is like the worst, okay, like the grossest one. And then it's like Royal Caribbean, Norwegian, Princess, I don't know what else. But like I knew it wasn't the nicest, but I also knew it wasn't like the worst. So I had like decent expectations. Also, it wasn't cheap. Like we spent a good amount of money. So we get on the cruise. I get in the room. It's small, like I thought. I wasn't shocked by that. But the floor wasn't even vacuumed, you guys. There was like little pieces of speckles of dirt and people's hair and crap. And I was like, don't like this. Then I lay on the bed, hard as a rock. I'm like, okay, I don't like this, but I'm being brave. Then I go to the bathroom. Tiny. Obviously, it's a cruise ship. Again, was expecting that. That's the thing. I wasn't expecting like a freaking Ritz-Carlton. Like I didn't assume that this was going to be the nicest, most bougie bedroom of all time. But the towels on this cruise ship were hand-me-downs from Motel 8. Okay. There were strings hanging from the towels, holes in the towels. Like they weren't even towels. They were rags. They were actual rags. And that is where I drew the line. That is where I said, I will never go on this cruise again because the towels. Yeah, I'm a bitch. I'm a complaining bitch. But when I spend a good amount of money on a vacation, I'm assuming that my towels will at least be a towel and not a rag. So yeah, I was not a fan of the actual hotel room. I guess it wasn't a hotel room. I wasn't a fan of the cabin, the cruise ship cabin. But I was like, I'm going to give it another shot. Okay. We're going to go get dinner. Maybe it'll get better. No, dinner is the cafeteria. It is like cafeteria food from elementary school. And like every restaurant. So that's the other thing. On a cruise ship, it's all inclusive. That's what they say. So you pay for like the food up front, but the drinks, you have to pay for the drinks. You have to pay for like this cup, which I obviously didn't get the drink thing because I don't like drinks, but the people we were with did. And I was like, that is so annoying that you have to carry this cup with you everywhere you go or you don't get a soda. Like what? Then they have like the all-inclusive food that you get technically included. But it's so gross. And they know it's gross. They know it's gross because they have other restaurants on the ship that you can pay for because they know that their food is so gross. So for example, they have cheeseburgers on the ship that are included in the buffet, but it looks like a piece of poop. It looks like a piece of poop that they put on a grill. It looks disgusting. So nobody wants to eat it. But don't you worry, because there's a Johnny Rockets on the cruise ship and you could pay $19 for a cheeseburger. So it's like they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing because why would they have a cheeseburger restaurant that you have to pay for if their cheeseburgers that were included were actually good? Like the Johnny Rockets wouldn't get any service. They wouldn't be making any money off of Johnny Rockets if they served good cheeseburgers. So that's how the entire cruise ship food is. It's like, oh, you could have the free Italian food or you could not get food poisoning and pay for the Italian food restaurant. Like, it was so annoying. And I didn't know that that was a thing. Like, I just assumed that all the restaurants were included and like you weren't paying for nicer restaurants. Like, if you got the food package, that should cover all of the food. No. So, yeah, the food on the cruise ship is gross. And if you like it, I don't know how. Like, I don't know how. I will say it's nice though, because now I know like what places I'd want to go back to. That is like the pro of a cruise. I will give a cruise that because, for example, we went to the Amalfi Coast. Gorgeous, like so pretty, but it was so crowded. And the drive, if you get car sick, beware. Because I'm so grateful we did the drive because it's truly the coolest thing you'll ever see, the Amalfi Coast Drive. Like the fact that people live there. It's like this giant mountain and there's just like houses and hotels and schools and churches like inside the mountains. There's over 1,000 steps within the entire town. Like it's crazy. But the drive is brutal. It's like an hour and a half, windy roads, also the most narrow roads. Like if you're not from Amalfi, you should not be driving on those roads. Like seriously, so scary. There was a tourist that like, because it's a one-way road. So the bus will just like honk and all the locals will know like if they hear a honk, that means they need to stop until they see a bus go by. But like a local doesn't know that. So there were multiple times where we almost had a head-on collision with a freaking local that was driving on this road. Like it was so scary and made me very sick. But I'm so glad we did it because it was so cool. But like I would never want to do that again. But it was nice to like be able to do it once and like figure it out. And now I know, okay, I saw it. It was cool, but I don't want to like fly all the way here and plan on like staying here for a week because I don't think I would have liked that. But enjoying it for a couple of hours was so perfect. So I will say that's the nice part about cruises because you can really see what you like. One of the places I want to go back to was our first stop, which was Palma in Spain. And when we get off the ship, we would get on a bus. It was like an excursion and like a tour guide would like show us around. It was really funny because the first bus we went on, the one in Palma, we got on the bus and there was only 2 seats left, but they weren't together. It was one next to this random person and then another one in the back in between a family. Okay. It was a dad and daughter and a mom and daughter. And they just left the middle seat open. And I was like, I guess I'm going to sit here. Like you would think they would like scoot over so that I could like have the window or something. No, I sat right in the center of this family. I kept joking the entire time. I was like, this is my family. This is my mom and my dad. And they were like, oh, we're too young to have a kid your age. And I was like, how old do you think I am? Because the girls that they had with them, their daughters were like 24 and 26. I'm 29. So I was like, excuse you, you could definitely be my mom and dad because you're like 60. How old do you think I am? And I didn't ask them that because I didn't want to know the answer because if they would have said like 38, I think I would have literally thrown myself off the bus. Like I'm 29, but they're like, oh no, we're too young. And I'm like, okay, whatever, grandpa, you're my dad. So I was like, these are my parents. I sat in the middle of them the entire bus ride. It was so weird. I found it to be so weird, but it was a great time because I told them all about my life. I asked them about their life. I dumpster deep dove them. They were from California. Their daughter played soccer. Then she got an injury and she couldn't play college. Like I found out everything about them. So that was lovely. Anyways, we get to the city of Palma, like the street, and it is so gorgeous. The most amazing shopping, which is truly like the only thing I care to do is shop. And we weren't shopping. We were going to a cathedral. We went to a lot of cathedrals, okay, which they are so gorgeous. And it's so crazy to think that they were built thousands of years ago because how? Literally how? They're prettier than anything in America and they're so old. It's like, how did they do this? But we're driving past them and I was just like so sad because I was like, wait, I don't want to go to the cathedral. Like I want to go to Zara. Like it was the prettiest Zara I've ever seen. It was 5 floors. Apparently it used to be an old movie theater in Palma and it was so gorgeous. I'm going to insert a picture of Palma in my photo dump because it was seriously like the most gorgeous little city. I don't know if it was little, but it was gorgeous. Next day, we went to Provence, France. That was the other thing. Every day we were at a new port. We only had one day at sea and it was like the last day. So we go to Provence, France, and this was my favorite day because I just got to shop like all day. They dropped us off in Provence. The tour guide like took us to the main city and was like, okay, meet me back here in 5 hours. And I was like, say less. And for 5 hours, I just shopped and shopped. It was by far my favorite place we stopped at, mostly because I just got to shop the entire time. We didn't go into one cathedral. We just shopped. So I don't know what that says about me, but my dream vacation is just shopping. So then the next day we were supposed to go to Portofino, but the weather was really bad. So we ended up going straight to Rome and we spent 2 days in Rome, which was kind of like the best place to be stuck because Rome is huge. There's so much to do. So the first day we went to the Vatican. It is so cool. Everything was so cool, but it's just massive. It's huge. And everything was a work of art. Everything was picture perfect. I just wanted to like take pictures of actually every little thing I saw because I was like, this is insane. insane. Then we went to Peter's Basilica. I think that's how you pronounce it. That's in the Vatican. Holy crap. I feel like I can't swear when I talk about it because that's like really disrespectful. It was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, I would go back to Rome just to walk through it again because it was that cool. The ceiling, the art, the detail, like everything about it was just phenomenal. Like, I could not believe my eyes. It was crazy. And then like we got to see some mass going on. They had like it wasn't like a choir, but it was like a group of people like singing. And then we got to see them ring the bell and like close the church. And then we went to the Trevi Fountain. We went twice because the next day we went to the Trevi Fountain too, because I wanted to see it at night and during the day. Honestly, the night is the prettiest. Like, it's so lit up and it's not as crowded. During the day, there's so many people. But by the Trevi Fountain is this gelato place. Well, that's the thing. There's lots of gelato. Italy has enough gelato to feed the whole country. So much gelato. Like, so much. But it's so freaking good. We had biscotti gelato. I think that's how I say it, biscotti. Oh, it was perfect. It was so delicious. And then we went to, I think it's called Trevi pasta. So good. The lasagna, delicious. Rome was like the only place where I really ate, because all the other places I was still kind of scared to eat because I just didn't want to have an attack. But Rome is kind of where I let my guard down and I was like, no, we're going to eat. When in Rome, when in Rome. So loved the Trevi Fountain, loved the Vatican. And then where else did we go? We went to the Colosseum. So the next day we went to the Colosseum and we got so lucky because we didn't prep. Like, that's something I would have done differently is I really would have like made an itinerary of the things I wanted to see and the things I wanted to do when we got off the ship. But I was kind of just going with the flow because we went with Caleb's business partner. His name's Kyle and Leah. Shout out to them. And they're like travel pros. And so I was just kind of like going with the flow. I was like, whatever they want to do, we're just going to follow them because I don't really want to have to look into it. So I was like, whatever they want to do. But they also kind of were going with the flow too. So we really didn't know what we were doing when we got off the ship. So we get to the Colosseum and the tours are like all booked out. Like, tickets to get into the Colosseum were like, you couldn't get in for hours. And we had to be back on the ship at a certain time. So we're like, crap, like we're not going to be able to see the inside of the Colosseum. And then all of a sudden this lady, this like random tour guide is like, I'm looking for 4 people who can join our group. And we're like, us. We get on this tour guide group and it was so cool. They took us downstairs like to where like the battles were, which I learned so many interesting things. First thing is the peace sign. It was invented there and it stands for victory because victory meant you had freedom. So they would go like this when they won because that meant they were free. And then now it's become peace. How interesting is that? Also, so many animals were killed in the Colosseum, more than humans, because I guess it was like a political thing where they would have like the gladiator fights, but the gladiator fights were mostly for whoever was in charge to like show them mercy and be like, do we want them dead or do we not want them to live? And when he would let them live, it would make him look like a good leader. So a lot of the times they didn't kill the gladiators, but they would kill like the thieves and like the outcasts, like the bad people who were like breaking the laws or whatever, and then animals. So I always thought it was like gladiators like killing each other all the time, but I guess that like wasn't really the case. Also, it had an elevator. The Colosseum had a working elevator. Like, they were so advanced and so smart. And that's the thing is like, I look at all of the buildings that we saw, all the churches. Like when we were in Spain, we went to Park Güell. Again, I'm pronouncing everything wrong, but it was so cool. Like, everything was just so well done that I'm like, how are we not building this kind of stuff now? Like, this is insane. Today's episode is brought to you by Boom. Okay, besties and trashers, listen up. If you're ready for fall wardrobe and you are ready for a little refresh, like me, if you saw I got rid of all my clothes, you need to check out Boom. I'm not kidding. I'm obsessed. Their denim actually fits like a dream. Their dresses are perfect for any vibe. And the sweaters, Don't even get me started. Cozy, cute, and so easy to style. Bohm just dropped their new arrivals and it's giving main character energy for your fall fits. Dress them up for dinner, keep it casual for errands. These pieces do it all. And of course, I got a code for you. Code weeklytrash gets you 20% off at bohm.com. That's BOHME.com. Go add everything to your cart now and thank me later because these pieces won't stay in stock long. I know because it's happened to me. So again, go to bohm.com and use code weeklytrash for 20% off. And thanks, Bohm, for sponsoring today's episode. Today's episode is also brought to you by Shed, the easiest way to start your weight health journey. With Shed, it only takes 3 minutes to get started. You'll fill out a quick online form with your goals and health history, and their medical team will create a personalized treatment plan just for you. Everything happens online. No doctor's offices, no pharmacy lines. Your FDA-approved medication ships straight to your door. And the best part, you're not doing it alone. Shed pairs you with a dedicated member success team to help you track progress and stay motivated along the way. Clinically studied treatments, no insurance required, and zero hassle. Get $100 off your first month by using the link in the show notes. Shed is making health simple, effective, and actually doable. Thank you, Shed, for sponsoring today's episode. In Rome, probably the Colosseum was my least favorite just because the Vatican was unreal and then the Trevi Fountain was just gorgeous, which it's crazy that Pedro had never heard of the Trevi Fountain. He was like, what's the Trevi Fountain? And I'm like, I'm sorry, have you not seen the Lizzie McGuire movie? Which me and Leah were talking about this. The Lizzie McGuire movie, I always assumed that they were like seniors in high school. No, they're graduating middle school. Think about that for a minute. Lizzie McGuire is 13 in that movie, and she is roaming around with a grown Italian singer man. What? And we're all watching it being like, this is such a good movie. This is so cool. He's a pedophile. Like, what do you mean? She's 13. I just assumed like they were 18 years old. No, they were graduating middle school. Is that not crazy? I need to go back and watch that movie because that was just the best movie of all time. But now knowing that they were 13, they were supposed to be 13. I don't think Hilary Duff was 13 when she filmed it, but like that was the plot, is that they were graduating middle school. And she was just with some grown man on a freaking moped roaming through the city as a 13-year-old. What? And then again, we went to the Amalfi Coast. So pretty, so gorgeous, but like totally couldn't do it again. It was funny though, because on the way back, so we drove to the Amalfi Coast, which is that really long, windy drive. Then we took a boat to the other side where then we got on the freeway to drive back to the port for the ship. And we get to this boat. Everyone is racing to the top of this boat. Like people are throwing elbows. We're like, we want to get to the top of the boat so we can like see the view and see everything. Like nobody wanted to be in the inside of the boat. Everybody wanted to be on the top. And it was like one of those like taxi ferry boat things. So we're like pumped because we get the very front seat of this taxi boat on the very top of it. The wind was insane. I thought I was going to blow away. I was laughing so hard I almost peed my pants because it was so cold and so windy, and everyone on the top of this boat, we just looked like a bunch of idiots. Like I'm sure the captain of the boat was like, these dumb idiots are going to regret their decision of racing to the front of the boat trying to get a seat because they're about to spend 30 minutes in hell. Like it was so cold. I had my head in my jacket and all of a sudden I feel seawater because it was so windy. The seawater was going onto our clothes. The guy next to me is in shorts and a t-shirt. Everyone is freezing, but we all have to be brave. We all were so brave because we couldn't like get up mid boat ride and go downstairs because all the downstairs seats were taken. So we're all just sitting there freezing our freaking booty cheeks off. And I'm laughing so hard. Like it was the funniest thing. And I think people probably thought I was crying because I was like in my hat, or not my hat. I was in my jacket and I was just like, like hyperventilating. I was laughing so hard. And I'm pretty sure they all thought I was crying, but I wasn't. I was laughing. I almost peed my pants. So that's how we ended the Amalfi Coast, was a 30-minute boat ride in like 50 miles per hour winds And like, it was like 12 degrees. It was so freaking cold, but it was a great story. It was a good time. The next day was the day on the boat, getting back to Barcelona to then fly home. So the day on the boat, me and Pedro got in a fight. It wasn't really a fight. It was like 30 minutes of me being annoyed, but it's so funny. I have to share it. So we're tired. It's been a long week. We miss our kids. The food's gross. We're not like in the best of moods, right? And there's these stairs. So there's like the stairs by the elevators that are like carpeted stairs. And then in the center of the boat are these like glass marble stairs where people take photos. And we were walking back from dinner, and I don't know why we decided to go down these glass marble stairs. So it was me, Pedro, and Kyle. And Leo had already, I think, got to her room or something. So we're walking down. I'm in front. And I don't know what happened, but I slip and fall. And again, these are marble stairs. So to save my tailbone, I land on my elbow. And it hurt so bad. And I was so embarrassed because everyone on the boat sees it because it's like right smack in the center of the boat. And I'm so embarrassed, which we know I don't get embarrassed, but I was in so much pain and it was so loud that like, and I was in a bad mood and I missed my kids and I just wanted to get home. And so I was like trying not to cry because I was like, that hurts so bad and I'm so embarrassed and everyone's looking at me and I was in a dress. So I'm like, I just biffed it down these stairs. And what does Pedro say to me? The first words out of his mouth weren't, "Are you okay?" Oh my gosh, babe. No, his first words were, "You need to be more careful." I'm sorry. Oh, he had awoken a dragon at that point when he said, "You need to be more careful." I turn around. And I slap his wrist and I go, "Don't talk to me like that." And I'm holding my elbow. People probably thought he pushed me down the stairs. Kyle is like, "Oh shit, like this is awkward." Pedro was like, "What did I do?" Because apparently, in his defense, what he says, he was like, "I didn't realize you actually hurt yourself." He's like, "I was just being sarcastic. Like, you got to be more careful." And then I was going to be like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Nope, no. The first words out of your mouth should have been, 'Babe, are you okay?' Not, 'You need to be more careful.'" So then he was mad at me because I embarrassed him in front of the whole ship by slapping his wrist and telling him not to talk to me like that. Like, I was so mad when I did it. I was like, let me reenact. If you're watching on YouTube, this is exactly what I did. So here's his wrist. Okay. I'm here. I'm holding on to my elbow. Okay. Trying not to cry. I turn around. "Don't talk to me like that." And then I put my head down and I go down the stairs and everyone's just staring at him like he just pushed me down the freaking stairs. So he's mad because he's like, "Why'd you do that?" I'm mad because I'm like, "Why didn't you ask if I was okay?" And we go to the room, dead silent. We're dead silent. And poor Kyle is just like, "So this is awkward because what just happened?" And so that has become like our inside joke now is anytime one of us does something, we go, "Don't talk to me like that." Because I was so mad. So that's kind of the inside joke of the trip. And then we flew home, but flying home was crazy because we flew Delta on the way there, but on the way home, we flew on their like sister flight, which is called KLM, the airline. And it's not very nice. Okay. There's no internet. There was no TV screen on the back of the first flight. So we had our first flight was Barcelona to Amsterdam, then Amsterdam to Seattle, and then Seattle to Utah, which already like that just sounds awful. But we were so eager to get home. I was like, I'm just so excited to see my babies. We get on the flight in Barcelona. We get on the tarmac and we sat on the tarmac for almost 2 hours because of bad weather. And they were like, "We don't know if we're going to take off or not, but we don't want to have to like go back into the airport because then we're going to be behind. So we're just going to stay here and hope that they let us take off." So we're sitting there and the problem is when we got to Amsterdam, we only had a 2-hour layover. So us sitting on the tarmac for almost 2 hours, we missed our flight in Barcelona or in Amsterdam. So we're freaking out because we're like, we have to get to Amsterdam. Kyle and Leah were taking another flight back to Utah that was at 5 p.m. in Amsterdam. Our Amsterdam flight was at 2:30. So we fly into Amsterdam. It's 3 o'clock. We missed our flight and we're like, oh my gosh, like this sucks. Like hopefully we could get on a different flight. We get a text message and they're like, hey, so you're going to be on tomorrow's flight at 10:30 a.m., which meant we wouldn't get home until the following night. We would have had to spend a night in Amsterdam. And I was just like about to cry. I was like, no, like I want to go home. Like I said, like by day 5 of the trip, like I was over it. Like I was ready to see my babies. So I was like, we need to find a way onto Kyle and Leah's flight. And their flight was at 5. And so we're like on the phone with Delta. We're texting Delta. We go and look online and there's 3 seats left on the plane, but they're Delta One. And Delta One is so expensive. On the flight to Barcelona, I like looked into Delta One and I was like, no way in hell am I spending this much money on a flight. So I did first class, which I also assumed like first class was so expensive. I thought our bed would be like a lay down. It's not. Delta One is the only lay down, but the price is just so obnoxiously insane that I would never, ever, 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 ever pay that. Also, couldn't pay that. Like if I paid for a Delta One flight, I wouldn't be able to go on my vacation. Like that would be the vacation, is flying Delta One and then flying back. Like that would be it. So we see that there's 3 Delta One seats and we're like, okay, well, we aren't buying those, but we were like so desperate. And Kyle and Leah are like diamond status with Delta, which means that they can get upgraded to Delta One. So we're like, okay, we should ask if they can upgrade your guys' seats and then we'll take your seats. So we get to the Sky Lounge because the representatives at all the desks were gone. And so we're like, okay, maybe at the Delta Sky Lounge, there'll be a representative. Well, there was, but there was like a queue of 80 people waiting to talk to them because everyone's flights were delayed because of the weather. So there was people from France that were trying to figure out their flights and people from Dubai, like all over the world, all different languages. Everyone's lost trying to get a new flight. So it was madness. So I tell Pedro, I'm like, okay, let me talk to Delta because you're really upset and like, you're going to be bad cop and I'm going to be good cop. And we'll see which one gets us on the flight. Well, bad cop won. Pedro won. He was texting with the Delta agent. And the guy was like, I'm so sorry. Like, there's no way to get you on that 5 o'clock flight. Like, the soonest we could get you is tomorrow morning. And Pedro was like, no, that's not going to work for us. And I was like, what are you doing? Like, how is that going to get us on the flight? It did. They responded. They were like, okay, well, let me see what else I can do. 10 minutes later, okay, we got you on the flight. We were pumped. We were so excited. We were like, we did it. We're going home. Like, so excited. Get to the check-in. We have our boarding passes. They scan them. Denied. Sorry, you're not on this flight. What? I straight up, my stomach went into my ass and I was like, I am going to cry. Like, I have got to get on this flight. I need to get home. Like we were so close. Like we could touch the airplane. So Kyle and Leah were already on the flight and they're texting us. They're like, are you on yet? Like, are you on the flight yet? And we're like, no, we're at the desk. And we're like, crap, like we're not going to get on this flight. So we're at the desk. The guy's typing. He's like, yeah, they took you off this flight. And we're like, we were just talking to a Delta representative. They just put us on this flight. And they're like, sorry, we're not seeing you. Like, let me see what I can do. So he's like typing. It felt like an eternity. Okay. We were the last ones to board the plane. And he's like, okay, I got you on the flight, but you're not sitting next to each other. And we're like, we don't care. We will sit in the bathroom. Like we will literally take the floor. We just want to get on this airplane. So by the grace of God, we made it onto the airplane, but our bags did not. And Pedro's bag has still not made it. Luckily, I got mine yesterday because I was really sad because my blankie was in my bag. And you guys all know I have to sleep with my blankie. So I was really, really upset. But don't worry. It's here. I got my blankie, but Pedro has none of his clothes. We also don't have any of the gifts that we bought our kids. And if you know all the past trips we've been on, our kids, that's all they care about. Mostly Bentley. That's all she cares about. Every time we talked to her on the phone while we were on the cruise, she was like, okay, so what are you getting me? Like that's literally all they cared about. And when we got home and they realized they didn't have their presents yet, it's been rough. Okay. Every day. Where's our presents? Where's our presents? Where's our presents? We don't know. We don't know. We think it's in Amsterdam. but we're not quite sure. So everybody, let's just say a quick little prayer that Pedro gets his suitcase because his clothes are in there and our kids' presents are in there and they are very impatient. But that was our trip. Overall, I give the trip an 8 out of 10. It was so good to just be with Pedro, spend time together, see parts of the world that we never got to see before. The reason why it's not a 10 is because the cruise food and the cruise bed and the cruise towels. And basically just like the cruise portion of it. But I have heard that like Princess is like the way to go if you're going to do a cruise to Europe. But again, we didn't really have a choice. We were just going with work people. So that was the cruise. But actually, a lot of the people that were on the cruise that were there for the work stuff, they were even saying like, oh, this is not good compared to the last trips they had been on. So it wasn't just us. I'm not that big of a complaining bitch. Okay. A lot of people were feeling this way. But the trip overall was great. I definitely want to go back to Europe, but just not on a cruise. But I do want to go back to Europe. But that flight is so long. Like I understand why people pay for Delta One, but also how. It is so crazy, you guys. Like a seat was $15,000. What? What? I can't even like wrap my head around paying $15,000 for a flight. May that level of wealth find me and all of us. Okay, let's manifest because that's insane. But now we're home, extremely jet lagged. I feel like my brain is mush. So apologies if I sound like I'm an idiot today because I feel like an idiot. But let's talk about the Taylor Swift album because that came out while I was in Europe. And that's kind of the only pop culture TikTok trash I'm going to talk about because I love the album. I love it so much. And everyone who's hating on it, shut up. It's good. It is so good. It is the first Taylor Swift album where I truly love every single song. Like when I listen to the album as a whole, I'm not skipping any songs. I want to listen to it from beginning to end. Like picking a favorite is actually really hard because I love them all so much. But of course, I'm going to give you my top 3 because I had to narrow it down, but I really do love all of them. But my top 3 are The Fate of Ophelia, Wish List, and this is going to surprise some people, but I seriously think it's like the catchiest song of all time, Wood. Which, if you know nothing about the album, Wood is about Travis Kelce's dick, okay? It's about how he has a big redwood dick and it opened up her thighs, okay? But the song itself is so catchy and so good. Like, I love it. I love it. So yeah, those are my top 3, Fate of Ophelia, Wish List, and Wood. But like, I really do love every single one. Like looking at this list, I was like, okay, well, I also love Canceled and I love Life of a Showgirl and I love Ruin the Friendship and I love Actually Romantic and I love Opalite and I love Elizabeth Taylor and I love Father Figure and I love Eldest Daughter. Like I love all of them. So maybe I just have zero depth because I'm like, wait, I think this album is one of my favorite albums ever. I don't understand the hate. Everyone's like, it's so cheesy. It's so corny. I'm sorry. Taylor Swift also wrote the song Me. She also wrote the song 22. She likes cheesy, corny songs. Like everyone loves to hate on an album in the beginning and then everyone ends up loving it. But the amount of people that are like, this is so cheesy. Like the song, I think it's the Canceled song where it's like, did you girl boss too close to the sun? And everyone's like, oh my gosh, this is so cringe. She's making fun of the fact that other people have said that, which I don't know if Canceled is about Blake Lively or not. A lot of people think it is because the girl boss too close to the sun remark is something that Candace Owens said about Blake Lively. So people are like, oh, that song is about Blake Lively. But I don't know if it is. I think it could also be about Patrick Mahomes' wife, Brittany Mahomes. Like, I don't know if it's about Blake, but a lot of people are saying it's about Blake because of that part of it. But everyone is just hating on the song and they just don't know the lore. They just don't know the lore. And then the lore between Taylor and Charlie XCX, I wasn't like super familiar with, but when everyone was talking about how the song Actually Romantic is straight up a diss track for Charlie, I had to look it up because I was like, what is the lore here? And basically, Charlie went on tour with Taylor. She was an opener. And in an interview, she had said that she was so grateful for Taylor, but like as an artist, it was really hard for her because she felt like she was performing in front of 5-year-olds, which is extremely offensive. And then she like had corrected herself and she's like, no, I didn't mean it like that, like blah, blah, blah. And then she wrote a couple of songs and kind of like threw shade at Taylor and then denied and was like, oh, it's not about Taylor. But then she's really good friends with Matt Healy, which is Taylor's ex-boyfriend. And then in 2024, Charlie came out with the song 360, which was featuring Matt Healy, and his fiance, Gabriette, was reposting a meme that had a picture of Charlie XCX. And somebody said, it's the Bad Blood music video, but for girls that do coke. And she retweeted it, which then made it look like Gabriette, Charlie XCX, and Matt Healy all talk shit about Taylor Swift. And so that's why in Taylor's song, Actually Romantic, she says, when the coke got to your head, because it's referencing this meme that somebody reposted that Gabriette reposted. I don't know. It's all very messy, very messy. And people are like hating on Taylor, being like, it's 2025. Like, why are we pitting women against women, Taylor? Like, why are we like writing diss tracks about women? I love it. I love it. If people, because we don't know what's going behind the scenes. We don't know what's being said behind closed doors. What if like they're really shitty? Like, what if they've been really mean to Taylor? So I'm here for it. Stand your ground. She's not like full on saying the name. So like if the shoe fits, it fits. And I'm here for it. That's my hot take. I don't know. I like a little pettiness. I like if when people treat you like shit, you call them out for it. I don't think being the bigger, better person is always the solution. So I'm here for it. I like a little petty Taylor Swift. And she's going on all these talk shows. She's doing all these appearances. And I just want to say that my prediction about the engagement, that while they were recording the podcast, he had somebody set up their engagement, was true. I called it. And I hadn't heard anybody else say that theory, which I didn't think it was that crazy of a theory because it's kind of like common sense, because if they got engaged around that time, like that would be a perfect time for them to set it up. But I hadn't heard anybody else say it. But then Taylor confirmed it in an interview and was like, yeah, while we were podcasting for New Heights, that's when he had somebody set it all up. And I was like, oh my gosh. So to the several of you that sent that to me and was like, you called this, thank you. Thank you for appreciating my talents, because I did call that. But now it's time for Trash is Trash. I know I've been yapping for a really long time. I don't even know how long this episode's going to be, but it's been a minute since I've talked to you guys, so I just needed to chat. But let's do some Trash is Trash. You ready? Here we go. Today's episode is also brought to you by Betty's. Okay, mamas, listen up, because I have a life hack for you. Are you tired of fighting your kids to make their beds? Say hello to Betty's, okay? The unique design lets your kids make their bed with just a zip. I would know because I have one for Bentley and I have one for Brooks, and you sure as heck bet I'm going to get one for Banks when he has a big boy bed, because it has made my life so much easier. They have a patented bedding that includes everything you need: fitted sheet, top sheet, and comforter in one seamless piece that zips together. My kids love feeling accomplished, and your kids will love it too when they can make their bed all by themselves every single day. Make your mornings easier and visit bettys.com. That's BEDDYS.com. And you can use code TRASH for 25% off your order. They are great for hard to make beds like bunk beds, RVs, etc., or for anyone that just wants better habits, because the day is better when you start it making your bed. So discover the joy of hassle-free mornings and the satisfaction of independence for your kids with Betty's Revolution Betty Solution. Again, that's bettys.com. Use code TRASH for 25% off your order. And thank you, Betty's, for sponsoring today's episode. My husband left for work late and forgot his phone. He asked me if I had left it, and I said yes. He turned around to come back and get it, and while I was waiting, I looked through his text just out of curiosity. Nothing was there, but I feel guilty. Do I tell him? No. Just don't do it again. Like, I think it's normal to be like a little curious, but also if you're curious, what does that mean? Like, does he give you signs that something's wrong? Is it your anxiety? Do you have OCD? Like, what made you even want to look in the first place? Like if you're just like nosy, like I'm a nosy girl. Like I've never looked. Okay, that's not true. I have looked through Pedro's phone before, but that was like when we were very first married. But like now I've never been like, oh, I want to see what like your group text is or whatever. Like I've never cared to because I have no suspicions at all. But if you had suspicions, that might be like there's a little bit of lost trust there. And maybe that's something you guys need to work on in the relationship because you think he's capable of doing something like that. But I don't think you need to tell him. I don't know. I feel like if you found nothing, that's a really good sign. And maybe that would like ease your anxiety. But obviously, there's a deeper issue because you even felt the need to do that. I am in a situationship with my old friend's ex-situationship. Me and my friend haven't been close for years, but she texted me saying that I'm a horrible friend. Am I in the wrong? Okay, why are we still having situationships? Like, I feel like situationships are so high school. And I know I'm not in the dating world, so like it's probably annoying if you're in the dating world and you're hearing me talk about it and you're like, Josie, you don't know. Like, you don't know. And it's true. I don't know. But this just sounds childish. I don't think you're in the wrong because you guys aren't really that close. Is it kind of weird? Yeah. Does it go a little bit against girl code? Yeah. But like if you guys aren't really close and you're not even dating, like they weren't dating, you're not dating, this whole thing just seems very immature. And I think if you are over the age of, I'll give you a little wiggle room. If you're over the age of 21, these conversations should not be happening. Like, no. So obviously you're not going to be friends with this person anymore. And it really doesn't matter if they think you're a horrible person because I don't really think you care to be friends with them because you literally said you haven't talked in a while. So I wouldn't take it so personally where like now you feel like you're a horrible person. But I think this situation is giving high school and you should stop being in a situationship. You should either be like official, have a DTR, determine the relationship because this is just so childish. Decided to make a sex tape with my husband on my phone. And I feel like I'm carrying around a bomb in my pocket. And at any moment, I'm accidentally going to send it to somebody. Wait, that's actually so funny because I don't have like a full on sex tape, but I definitely have photos and things where I'm like, if I accidentally sent this to somebody, I would be mortified. Like I would, especially like a family member, like my mom or my mother-in-law, like I would die. I would actually die. So I get that feeling. What I do is I put it in my hidden album, which I'm pretty sure everyone knows what a hidden album is. And if you don't, now you do. You literally go to like the 3 dots and you go hide this photo. And then you have a hidden album that you need your face recognition or your PIN to get into it. Because yeah, nobody needs to see these very intimate videos, tapes. I love how we call it a sex tape. When like back in the day, it was called a sex tape because it was literally filmed on like a camera with like a tape in it. And now it's our iPhone. So really it's a sex video, but it's still a sex tape. But yeah, no, put your photos, videos in a hidden album. I do know there's like a special app where you can like keep private things, but even that freaks me out because I'm like, who's in charge of that app? Like I know at this point, like all of China or whoever runs freaking iPhones has seen my nudes at this point. Like it's circulating somewhere. But for some reason I'm like, okay, whatever. It's whatever. But an app, I'm like, why do I feel like whoever invented that app is just like secretly looking through all of our secret photos? You know what I mean? I don't know. If anyone has any better solutions for this trasher, let me know. My cousin was banging my best friend while I was in the same room. I was on a beanbag while they were on the couch. Ew. That's disgusting. That's so gross. Have I done it before? Yes. But like, that doesn't make it right. That doesn't make it okay. We should not be having sex around other people. It is private. Also, it's your best friend. Like that's just, I don't ever want to really have to hear my best friend or like my sister or anyone really, really close to me. I don't really want to have to hear them having sex. Like I don't need to hear that. So my dad is a dentist and I work for him. He just hired another dentist to come work for him. Here's the kicker. He is cute. But here's the problem. Do you think that he's not going to make a move even if he wanted to because I'm his coworker and also his boss's daughter? Help. What do I do? Also, my dad is all for trying to set the two of us up, LOL, but is also feeling like he can't get in the middle. Need advice. I say you shoot your shot. I say you give out flirty vibes and see if he gives any. Because even if, let's say, he's scared because you're like the boss's daughter or whatever, if you're giving flirty energy, he'll match it a little bit. And you could kind of like read the room. I think reading the room is huge here. So like give it a month of just like flirtatiousness. Like definitely like put out the feelers. Like follow him on social media. Like his posts, okay? If he matches that energy, great. If he doesn't, then I think you just have to take that as a sign, because I feel like men, if they're into you, like doesn't really matter if like you're the boss's daughter, like they're still going to like show some level of interest. So I say just be really flirtatious and see where that takes you. My husband does only body weight workouts at home instead of going to the gym and working out. Why does that give me the ick? Am I horrible? Why is this funny? Like, why am I picturing my husband in our basement doing body squats and Madonna arms? Like, that's like, why is that funny? Like, am I horrible? Am I horrible because I'm also getting the ick? Like, I do feel like body weight workouts are made for the girls. So I see what you're saying. Does that mean we are horrible people? It might. It might mean that. But like, why doesn't he go to the gym? Is he self-conscious? Is he like new to working out? Like, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Like, he doesn't know what he's doing. Like, that's so sweet of him that he like is trying. Like, he wants to better himself. We love that for him. Maybe you be like, we should go to the gym together. We should do a weightlifting class. Like, because I agree, it's giving ick. But that could also mean that we are weird. But I feel like men are supposed to be like lifting weights or running or chopping wood or something. Not doing body squats. Like, what other things is he doing with body weight? Like, what other body weights is he doing? Like, okay, Madonna arms, body squats, wall sits. I mean, wall sits are hard. A plank, push-ups. I mean, push-ups are hard. I can only do 2. So he's got me there. But like, what other body workouts? I don't know. I'm just picturing him doing squats and it's giving me the ick. But that might be a me problem. But I'm with you. I'm absolutely terrified of having a bad relationship with my daughter. It stems from having a horrid mother. How do I make sure she always knows she is loved and we have a good relationship? I think the fact that you're even worried about it means that is probably never going to be a problem, because you're already like making sure that's not going to be how your relationship is. And I think your child can understand your love for them with just like small actions of like you giving them a hug every day when they get home from school. You saying, how was your day? Like little things like that go such a long way. And I think you already being mindful of the fact that you want to make sure your daughter knows how much she's loved means that she's going to feel loved. So have confidence in the fact that like you are not your mom, and like whatever your mom did to you, like you are not going to just all of a sudden do that to her, especially when you're mindful of that and being self-aware of that. I think the fact that you even asked this makes it very clear that like you're doing a good job. So don't be hard on yourself. You're doing a great job. You're a good mom. I left my laptop at my little brother's apartment. When I went back to get it and I took it home, I would die. And I took it home. The first tab open was Pornhub. I'm mortified. Okay. Also, does he know your password? Do you not have a password on your laptop? And does he not have a laptop? Does he not have an iPhone? Like, he had to use your laptop to access Pornhub? I feel like he's pranking you. I feel like this is a prank. I feel like he's trying to freak you out and like make you uncomfy. So if I were you, I would call him out. I would take a picture of it and I'd be like, what the hell? Question mark. And scare the crap out of him, because if this is not a joke, he'll be freaked out and he'll be like so embarrassed. And if it is a joke, you guys can laugh about it. So that's my advice, because there's no way out of all the electronic devices, he uses your laptop. That's nuts. That's nuts. Had sex in my in-laws' hot tub. The next week, we found out they had just installed Vivint cameras all in their backyard. I am so nervous that they have seen it. Okay, I don't think they've seen it. There's no, like, unless they were watching you guys. No, there's no way. There's no way. No, don't stress about it. Also, in a hot tub, they can't really see anything. All they would have seen is like moving, like bouncing up and down, but they wouldn't have seen like anything explicit. But also, I don't think they're like looking for that. Like I wouldn't, like if my son and his wife were in our hot tub, I'm not going to go look through the video footage to see what they were doing. Like that's weird. That is so creepy and weird. I really don't think they're doing that. And if they are, they're freaks. The family I babysat for gave me a huge lecture on flushing my tampons down their toilet. I have never felt more embarrassed or ashamed. I'm dead, because I flush my tampons. I know this is like so controversial. Like, do you flush your tampons? Do you not? I always thought like if you had money, you flush your tampons down the toilet, because like all my rich friends in high school would like flush their tampons down the toilet. And in my house, like it was like a huge no. It was like you wrapped it in toilet paper and put it in the garbage, because like our plumbing was garbage. And so my dad was like, don't flush your tampons, blah, blah. But then like all my rich friends in their mansions were like flushing their tampons. So I was like, oh, like it must just be because I'm poor. Like I can't flush my tampons. And so then I remember the first time I flushed a tampon was at like my friend's house, and like nothing happened. And I was like, wait, like it's fine. So then I just started flushing my tampons and nothing ever happened. And so I was like, okay, it's fine. And so into adulthood, I've been flushing my tampons down the toilet and nothing has happened, knock on wood. Every family I nannied for, I for sure flushed my tampons down their toilet, but nothing ever happened. So how did they know that you were flushing the tampons down the toilet? Like, did the plumber come? Do they not have any like kids that have tampons? Does the wife not wear tampons? Like, how did they know? That is so embarrassing, because that would be me. But also like, it's not embarrassing because, I mean, it's kind of embarrassing because like, that's something that they say not to do, but we all do it, right? Like we all do it. We all flush our tampons down the toilet, right? Or just me? Like I'm trying to think about a time that I didn't flush a tampon down a toilet. And I honestly think the last time would have been when I lived with my parents, because my dad was like, don't flush them down the toilet. Like I always flush them down the toilet. So I'm so sorry that you had to go through that someone had to call you out on that behavior, because that would be me. And now you're scarred. Now you're never going to flush a tampon down the toilet. And maybe that's like saving the environment. I don't know. What? Comment below. Do you flush? Flush or not flush? I have to know, because I flush. So nothing's happened yet. But that is it for Trasher's Trash this week. This has been a very long episode, so I need to end it because I'm headed to Corn Bellies. If you live in Utah, you know what Corn Bellies is. If you see me, say hi. I love making friends, but that's where I'm off to. So I have got to go, but I love you guys so much. Next week's episode is a guest episode, and it's a funny one. So I'm excited for you guys to hear it. See good, do good, and don't forget to take out your trash. Bye.